Hello and welcome to the last law of the spiritual laws of success. We made it. The journey wasn't rough, was it? Couple of weeks, well, 2 months really. This would be the second month, the last day. I just wanted to thank you all for those that participated, for those that joined, and for those that are hearing it through YouTube or whatever platform. I just want to let you know that it's fun for me. And I do want to thank all of the participants for their time, for their energy, participation, and most of all, being you, which is basically what we're going to be talking about today. Today's law is the law of Dharma. And this was going to be a little bit easier for me because everyone in this room has it. And what is the law of Dharma? The law of Dharma relates to your purpose in life. We have a shaman here, we have a musician here, and we have someone that built a community for women. And then you have me, a spiritual magician and a life coach. We realize our potential, we realize our purpose is to help other people. And that's what Dharma is. It means the evolutionary impulse of the universe. What drove us to what we're doing? What drove us to help others? What drove us to inspire others, entertain others, heal others? That is what this law is all about. On an individual level, it means that you have a unique position in this world. Yes, there are other life coaches. Yes, there are other shamans. Yes, there are other people that create communities for women. And yes, there are other musicians. But you are unique to yourself. You do what you do because you're passionate about it, because you love it, because you know it brings joy to others. And that joy comes back, as we discussed in the law of karma and the law of and the law of giving and receiving. We don't do it for a reward. It comes naturally out of us. So all of these laws are intertwined. The concept is also, as just like I said, a passionate service and the value that you can give back. You give back to the community by me doing workshops, Solina giving back to the community for people, for women that need it, Umberto to a current organization. I believe it's a religious organization that you're playing drums for. And John, we already saw it at the Pride event. You have been definitely giving back to the community, and all of the people that we touch in one way or another are grateful, whether it's through little gifts, little thank yous, appreciation, depending on who you are, a form of payment. You know, we do our services, we should get paid for our services. We don't do it to get paid. We do it because it's our dharma, because it is our purpose in life. We could be doing other things. We could be sitting in front of a television. We could be at a bar drinking. We could be at the movies, but what are we doing? We are giving of ourselves to enrich the lives of others. Synonyms for Dhamma could include duty, righteousness, moral law, ethical duty, the one that I resonate with, life purpose. There's cosmic law, universal law, natural law, and moral code. When we employ these words, it's because we feel a duty, a moral code to give of ourselves, to enrich the life of others. That's what Dharma is. There are three components of Dharma: discover our true selves, that which is spiritual and divine, know our unique talents, and the third one, be aware of how we can be in service to a community or humanity. Now, I'm not going to go into too much because, like I said, everyone in this room knows all of this. I'm just going to briefly go over them and then open the floor to conversation because it definitely is important to remind ourselves of what we're doing, of our purpose. Maybe it can open a path to a new way of doing what we're doing to help others. Maybe we can get a better, bigger reach. So, to discover our true selves, We shared all beliefs and see ourselves as divine spirits having occasional human experiences. John, I believe you had spoken about this many times. And I definitely believe that it's one of the things that you do best and you do it naturally. Acknowledge the unique spark within you that calls you to certain interests and talents. This one pertains to Umberto. He has a very, very skilled artistry in becoming a drummer. He was even rewarded with an Emmy. Of course, the last one in discovering our true selves is listen to your intuition. Do we do it because, oh, I gotta get up and I gotta do life coaching, or I gotta get up because people need me? No, we do it because we want to, because we love it, because it's intuitive to us, which is why I hold these workshops to unleash that. That's one of my gifts, to unleash the power within you. Sometimes we don't see it. Sometimes we have limiting beliefs. Sometimes we have external forces that tell us that, or internal forces that tell us that we're not good enough, that we're not worthy. I believe I shared a story of my brother when our mom told him that he wasn't good enough to work anywhere but McDonald's. And that really made an impact on his life. And now he is a thriving psychotherapist and helps other people. Despite what he heard, he didn't believe it. He opened up his practice and he's helping people, and people are making progress, seeing results. So just because someone tells us something, it doesn't mean it's true. A lot of people say things out of pain, out of anger. It did not deter my brother from completing his task that he was put on this earth for. The next one, know your unique talents. When you express your unique talents in the service of humanity, you lose track of time and create abundance. How many times have I been creating videos and I just whip them out? I think in one of the groups of the accountability circle that John hosts, I created 6 videos in one go, and my goal was just to make one. It just flowed out of me. I called upon my spirit team. My spirit team delivered, and it was just one right after the other. And another week, I did 12 or something like that. I had laid out all of my clothes on the sofa, with the hat and the shirt to match and the vest. And before you know it, I'm like, it's 45 minutes in, and I'm almost nearly done because I was creating. It was my passion. It was flowing out of me. It's something that I did because I wanted to, because I knew that the message that I was delivering, it was going to reach someone, was going to touch someone. This is why we do the work that we do. A light worker, a musician, a community builder. All of us in this room are one of those light workers. Whether you call it light worker, whether you call it spiritual worker, it's completely up to you. But it is your Dharma. It's so easy to just do what naturally comes to you, especially for people like musicians. Of course, you have to study a craft. No one is born playing instruments, but you learn it, you master it, and then you unleash it. You bring it out to people, you bring them joy, ease, you relieve their pain. Who knows what's going on right now? They need to hear some music. So our work is very important, it's very valuable, and we do it naturally. No one is telling us, you got to go and do that. You got to go and be a life coach. No, I said I'm a life coach. And I think I've said this before in other workshops. I knew my purpose in life at a really young age, which was to use my skills and abilities to help other people. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And it just feels so good. I'm getting tinglies in the back right now. But it's just so wonderful to do that. Um, then let's see, be aware of how we can be in service to humanity. Ask yourself daily, how can I serve? How can I help? It's just now in my life become instinctual just to help people find something. It could be as little as how to Google something. My friend was having an issue with his phone, and I'm like, oh, you got to do this, you got to do that. It may seem so small, but it means a lot to the person because now it's like, oh, I don't have this problem anymore. And that's how I can help. Yeah, okay, I'm a little bit technically savvy, so I used that skill to help someone else. So now I open the floor. After all, this is a workshop. I open to the floor to ask you, how do you help humanity? How can you serve?
I will begin. So one of the things that I always noticed when I was younger is that I would be very sensitive to others people's like emotions and feelings. Um, you know, Even being in a classroom after two of my friends lost their grandmother and they were crying, and because they were crying, I felt their pain and I was crying too. Even the counselor was like, "Why are you crying?" I said, "I just don't know. I just feel all the emotions." Anyway, all that to realize that, being an empath is one of my, spiritual gifts in which now I can, turn someone's day around just because I know that they could use a shift in their mood. Um, if I hadn't gone into business as a focus for college, it would have definitely been as a psychologist. Um, you know, Realizing that that's where like I feel like I'm have the most experience, and like you said, it comes natural to you. And that's like connecting with people, like the human connection. And it's not something that I always felt. I always felt different than people, so I always shied away, from connecting because I would be afraid of being seen. The same way that I see others, like I'm like, I would be afraid of being seen, for my differences. But anyway, my dharma, my purpose has been about being of service to others, to connecting people, to building communities, and I believe that I am living in that purpose. As we're also developing this community like together. So that's how I feel I'm being purposeful, living in my dharma. And it's not like any job I've ever held before. It doesn't feel like work.
Because it's
Yeah.
your inner purpose. It's what you should be doing, and it's fun and it's great. I love that because a lot of people think, oh, I gotta sit down in front of a desk and I gotta make money to feed the kids and to buy a house and a car. But you are living your truth. You're living your life following your purpose. And it's so innate because, and I've seen you. I've seen you in action. You know how to talk to people. You know how to communicate. Your voice is soothing. And that's one of the things that draws people in. And that, are you changing your voice? No, that's you. That's your dharma. And that's great. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you.
Anyone else would like to share, please? What is your special, unique gift? What is your unique talent, and how can you use them to serve others?
I can go next if you want.
Of course, of course. The floor is yours.
Thank you. I can relate so much what John said earlier about um connecting because I can identify myself as an empath too and very sensitive since childhood but there was this one time at work where one of our managers passed away from cancer and um he the cancer was very fast and people were crying and this was a person that everybody loved and I wasn't too close, but there were other people that were very close to him. I wasn't too close, but just feeling the grief of my coworkers, I couldn't stop crying myself, and I couldn't understand why I felt so much grief when I wasn't that close to the person, but my coworkers were grieving and I just couldn't stop weeping. And so those were the kind of hints early on when I realized something is different about me. Like, why am I feeling so intensely other people's emotions, and trying to figure out what that was. And later on, I was told, "Oh, you're an empath. Like you're able to connect to other people's emotions." So I kind of have that gift too. But um, there is another part of me that and this is sounds kind of funny because a relative of mine was telling me last week. I said, have you noticed that when there is whether you're grieving or there is a moment of crisis or something, you really dig deep and you do some writing that is like amazing writing, but it's it's usually on the moments of crisis or grieving, that I really connect to those emotions deep within me. And but I know that that deep emotion and those beautiful words that come out are coming from the deep connection that I have with, let's say, like when my father passed away, or when, something else is happening that I really feel so deeply. And I think it comes from that empathic gift. And when I connect to that, like really beautiful writing comes out. And so this is when other people, compliment me on that. And I seem to say, okay, how come I cannot connect to that when I'm happy or I'm regulated? So I would like to kind of get there, but yeah, and I try to as well share the little bit of things that I've learned along the way, working on myself, or share it with others, and seem to, whenever a friend or somebody close that they talk to me, or sometimes a total stranger. I was on a meeting, on a support group, a couple weeks ago, and this lady, shared something, and I was able to respond to her, and she found a lot of value on what I said to her, and others in the group as well. So sometimes, it just comes spontaneous. It's not something that it just comes out. And I'm happy when that part of me is able to help somebody else in a moment of distress or grief, and they feel better because of the way that I responded. So I like that part of myself.
And we do too.
Thank you.
But that's the thing, Solina. It's innate. It's just you don't work at it. And that's what the law of Dharma is. It's something that you do instinctually. People come up to you because I know this is a young lady that can help me out. I know this is a young lady that can empathize with me. I know this is a young lady that can help out. And I love that. And all of us are in here doing the same thing in different ways, in our own special, unique way. Thank you so much for sharing your story. Umberto, would you like to go next, or would you like to hold
Yes.
for the next one?
Yes. Well, I'm like empath, like John and Selena. Uh, from from my young age, I felt that very strong. I can submerge in emotions very, very easy. Others people's emotions, and also in my case, there's something in particular because I'm legally blind and I'm disabled since I was 10 years old. So when you add that empath and you add that situation, I understood that it's more powerful, like more, I don't know how to say it, but those things together, it's even more powered. It's more, um, it's strong. It's very strong feeling. It's very strong. Uh, I don't know how to say it, but it's very, very something that pushed me uh, to move forward in very different ways. But my purpose, I understood, I understood that is to motivate people to move forward, to follow their dreams, to even though that the things could be difficult or it could be challenging. When you have faith and you believe, it's possible. Everything is possible just if you believe and you have faith. So, and I knew that. Well, I didn't knew. I mean, I this is new for not for me. Like, but I don't know. A couple of years ago, I knew. Okay, you are different. You have something else. You have something different. So, and like you said, like the intuition or something inside push me to move forward and to take decisions. And since I don't know how, but every decision that I have taken in my life have been crucial to yeah to that Humberto is here now. I mean, whatever every decision that I took in the past lead me to be here now. So but it's crazy because I wasn't thinking about that. It's just to follow something inside that lead me, like the guidance inside that is, and also it's passion. It's passion to do what I love. And it's natural. It's like you said. I mean, because when I practice or when I do my drums, I'm not pushing myself. It's something natural. It's something that I love. And at the same time, it's difficult because I cannot see. And um, when I do my job, or as a drummer, it's could be challenging. But at the same time, it's extremely grateful when I finish my concerts, the music that I'm doing. So at the same time, people when see me, they say, "Oh my God, this guy! What? This guy cannot see, but look at him." But I'm not looking for recognition. The recognition is myself. It's me inside. It's the gratitude that I feel inside, and it's amazing. And I knew that is the purpose. And it's crazy because when you follow that instructions, like you said, Eldon, a couple times, it's the universe give you the reward, give you that because it's the law of the universe. It's something that you cannot control. When you give love, you receive that in return. And well, my purpose definitely is to motivate people. It's like to be the evidence that the God exists and the things are possible when you believe and you have faith. That's what I can say.
Thank you so much for sharing. I do believe, yes, that you do motivate people. It's one of my strengths as well. There are people that sometimes, I can't do it, I can't do it. And I tell them, you don't have to believe. I believe you can do it. And it comes up in my physical training is that you don't have to believe it. I got it. I got you. And the thing about it is like, if someone is motivating you when you don't feel the motivation, like you see that spark right away. I mean, like, wait, this person believes in me. This person knows. And so it just automatically flows from me, from my gift to the other person, because I know within them they have that power, whether it's to look for a job or change a behavior. I know that we can do it. It's just sometimes we get in our own way. And I've heard it before. I'm my worst enemy. And I never understood that saying. I never understood that phrase until I saw it in action. And people do get in their own way. And it's because of limiting beliefs or ancestral blockers or things that parents have told us or our peers, our friends in school. Oh, you can't do that. I ran into this person. Let me share a brief story. I ran into this person when I was in New Orleans and we just started talking. I was telling him that I'm a life coach and I help people with, changing their mindset. Oh, that's great. Did you do any other things? Like, oh yeah, I'm a web developer as well on the side. He goes, oh, so am I. So instant connection, right? So we started talking, and he goes, I know this, and I know that, and I know the other. And then I just asked, then why are you a bartender with all this knowledge? And it just took him a while to kind of like think about it. And so I gave him a list of things to do. I gave him my online portfolio. There's an agency in New Orleans that he can go to. And I even told him, like, if you know this program, it's called Python, which a lot of people don't know, you really can get paid a lot. And he tells me, you have more belief in me than my wife does. And I'm like, why do you say that? And he goes, because every time I go look for work, with my web development skills, she looks at me and is like, yeah, okay, you're gonna get that job. Oh yeah, what's next? And I'm just thinking, his wife is telling him these things because he loves her, he'll listen. And his subconscious mind is picking up on those negative beliefs. And guess what happens? He'll never get up and look for work. He'll never send out that resume. But I came in and stepped in. I'm like, I believe you can do it. I believe that you didn't go to school to just become a bartender. You're going to create some good things. So it just, I had to pull out that motivation, and I talked to him about it. And throughout the course of the conversation, he was just lightening up, and he just felt better. And I can feel it in him, and I can see it. He left with this confidence. Now, this was over months ago, so I don't know what he's up to now. So hopefully he did put it into practice, that he's got it in him to go and change his life from being a bartender to becoming a web developer, because maybe it's his calling. Do you think his divine calling and dharma is to become a bartender? I don't think so. I don't think so. Uh so next one, we're going to talk about partner for the rhyme here. It's dharma and karma. We did speak about the law of karma. If one wants a good experience, one needs good karma, and the opportunity to create good karma is by connecting to the divine through meditation. Now, there are people that meditate, there are people that listen to soothing music, whatever gets you into a state where you are just being yourself at ease. That is a meditative state. We're using the alpha waves on a regular conscious basis, but we want to go into a deeper, which would be a beta wave. So if you're listening to music, now, Humberto, you know about this because you're a musician. When you are on the drum set, you're playing a certain beat. You are definitely putting people into a meditative, concentrated state to listen to the music. There's other instruments in the band, I'm sure. No one's going to get up and start saying, oh, let's have a conversation. No, they're all focused for that moment with the music, with the rhythm, with the percussion, with the beat. So that is how one can do it. Now, I normally stay in a quiet place. I put on some soothing meditation music, and I get into my meditative state, and I just let my mind wander, and just, what am I going to do with my business? How am I going to help others with this workshop? How am I going to deliver my message on social media? So all of those states get me into a flow, or some people call it the zone. That is where you are most natural. That is when you are going to create. Remember, we talked about Dharma earlier in the conversation about how you can get creative, how you are creative when you are realizing your Dharma, when you get into that state where everything just flows naturally. I'm going to set the intention to do such and such. I'm going to set the intention to help others. It just comes naturally. Now, if you're practicing, for example, I'm not picking on you, Umberto, but it just seems to be so natural right now. You're in front of my screen. You practice, you rehearse, you want to get the beat right, you want to get in synchronicity with the other musicians so that you can deliver a quality product for people to enjoy. That is your creativity hard at work. For the others in the group that are building a community, such as myself, Solina, and John, what do we do? Do we get in front of what is it? We put our earpods in or put the speakers on, so that we can have a flow so that we won't have to think too consciously about what we're going to do. Before I do this course, I sit in front of the computer and put some nice music on, start to deliver my message, excuse me, start to rehearse the message I'm going to deliver. So that is my natural state. We also have to realize that if necessary, Dharma is fulfilled. The result is given, which guides one towards the right action, but also helps avoid unnecessary action. So for me, I practice, I go over it, make sure it flows naturally, call upon my spirit masters, my spirit team is what I call them, to ask them to guide my words so that I can deliver a message that resonates with people, where people can share, where people can ask me questions. You know, we are creating a space right now for us to realize that our Dharma is ever present. Like I said, this is going to be an easy course because we in this room have it. We do it. We practice it. It's natural. It's not forced.
No.
It is, and those are the things that are necessary. Unnecessary things are, oh my God, I gotta hurry up and get this done. And how am I gonna? Those are the things that we have to let go. As I said last week with the law of detachment, just go along with the journey. Your skills, your abilities, your divine gift will naturally guide you to create what you desire. Do you desire a community? Three of us are in here doing it. Do we desire to help others with our music? Humberto's doing it. You know, so it's just those things that just flow naturally.
Mm-hmm.
So the next question on the docket is, if you had the time and resources in the world, what would you choose to do? Makes you think, doesn't it?
As
Who
a
wants?
friend of mine used to say, hmm, I don't know. Let me think for a minute.
I had to think about this one before anyone answers. You know, give yourself some time to collect your thoughts while I bring mine. If I had all of the resources and time in the world, I would choose to travel and just bring my laptop to any given country and make sure that I still help people with my life coaching services. If I was not here right now, I would probably be in Europe holding this class or this workshop. I would just make sure that I attend the meeting. But that is definitely what I want to do. I see myself doing it. I see myself in Europe, in Italy, in Greece, in Thailand, in Japan, in Australia. I just see it, and that's something because I love traveling. So imagine traveling to another country while helping people out. I mean, could that be any better? But that's my Dharma. Everyone else's Dharma is different. So I'm going to open the floor to the next person. What would you do if you had all the time and resources in the world?
Look, I'll share.
Absolutely, go ahead.
Because I mean, it's such a, grand question. I mean, all the time and resources in the world that, I mean, you could do anything. So, like, let me think big. And one of the things that I really want to see, because I love places like Disney World, right? And Disneyland and Universal Studios and the Harry Potter theme park, whatever, is the fantasy, right? And so kind of like that everything's all right, that everything's going just dandy, and it's a happy ending waiting and whatnot. So I would love to build like a literal, like almost like an amusement park, but it's more like one that people get to live in. It would probably call like The Village. And it be like curated events all about like fun, community, and social, connecting and authenticity and just like feeling bliss. A theme park for receiving your dose of bliss. And so that's what I would do. I would be the founder of this utopia amusement park where people want to keep coming to, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. You just planted the seeds. Keep it up.
Yes. That would be fantastic.
Anybody else? If you had the time and resources in the world, what would you choose to do?
Well, in my case, I will try to put all the resources to create more organizations, and I would like to educate, to like to give education to people that not like the regular basic education like we learn in the school. Is like more know themselves in a deeper level, deeper way. And I will try to teach them who they are really. I mean, like create more education, like but when they are little, like when they are kids, like they are little, when we are little, I just like I don't know the schools that we provide that kind of information, and I would say that would be great because when we connect with that, but we that who we are in reality, we we all the dreams that we have come true easily, but we forget who we are in this world. So I would say that I would like to create more organizations and more education but in a different way, like to create more resources in that areas, that people can develop different abilities, believe in and trust themselves, not to put laws and rules. It's just to follow your instinct. What do you
That's
think is
exactly
good
it.
for you? Things like that. I something that I imagine, but I would like to do that. I would say that would be very, very helpful for this world when people connect with that. And for sure, there's no phones, there's no Instagram there, nothing like that. I mean, it's just you. You are the social media, it's you inside. You have the best social media because it's you, your heart, your brain inside. So it's something like that. That's what I would do.
There's nothing stopping you, I'll tell you that. I mean, you already are an artist, you have a following. And listen, it's the law of Dharma. Follow that passion. That's yours. That's unique to you.
Well, thank you,
This
Elder.
and you're very welcome. And the point of these lessons are that we have these laws that show us that we have it within us. We have to, which leads to the next one, but I'm not gonna move on to the next one. But we have to set aside what people tell us. We have to set aside our limiting beliefs. I myself am working on releasing blockers that I have that prevent me from moving forward in my career, in my life coaching practice. It's not easy. It takes a lot of meditation, it takes a lot of work, but I have the intention to releasing it, to get to that point where it's gone. It doesn't bother me. Those limiting beliefs are gone. You know, I know that I have a message. I know that I have the ability to help people. But we have to realize that limiting beliefs are very tough to get rid of, but we can get rid of them. We have to push back on them like, no, this is not serving me. You got to get out of here because we are beautiful people within ourselves that deliver ourselves, our gifts, our talent.
Mm.
So we have one more, Solina. If you would like to participate, that's let me know. And if you don't, we can move on to the next one, and that's totally fine with you. What would you do? What would you choose to do if you had all the time and resources in the world?
Sounds like a magical place to be. And if that were to happen, I think I will join you in your trip around the world. That will be
Let's
fun. So
go. Let's go. I'm ready.
that will be my first thing. I say, okay, Eldon, where to?
Oh my gosh.
And yeah, and I would like to do something for women. I feel strongly about helping women, and maybe figure out a way to collaborate with other people who have similar ideas and do something to create either an organization or something that you can travel the world teaching women and helping women um, be the best that they can be. And as you said, doing the inner work and trying to release all those limiting beliefs and programming that is sometimes a little damaging for women's self-esteem, and that it's sad sometimes to see them going to their old age still with those negative beliefs and things like that. So we're gonna help them release them, and the ones that are a little bit farther ahead to get them involved and encourage them to be there for other women, to become like an ambassador for teaching women to be there for other women. I think that's something that I would like to see in general. Thank you.
I love it. That is very beautiful. And I definitely think that you are doing it. You say you want to do that. I believe you are doing it. In previous conversations, you have discussed that you do have a community that you are building. It's just a matter of time before it flourishes. Everything takes time. Remember, we want to detach from the outcome and focus on the journey. So that's coming, Solina. It's on its way. I can
Thank you.
guarantee that. You
Yes.
are doing it. You are putting in the work. And
Yes.
I believe in you.
I
And I
believe
know
in me too.
you, I was gonna say, I know you believe in yourself. But
See,
yes, you are absolutely doing it. It is your purpose in life and it brings you joy. You
it
just from you
does.
telling me, Eldon, I want to travel and do things, and I'm like, yes, let's go. Let's do this.
Yes.
I definitely agree. I think it's wonderful. All of your stories, thank you for sharing it. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing your story, Solina. All of your stories are absolutely amazing. And guess what? We
What?
can achieve that.
Yes.
We didn't
Imagine
talk
10
about
years from now we can rewatch this video and say, "Hey, remember when we were dreaming about this? Hey, we're living the dream
absolutely.
now."
Absolutely. It's done. We did it. Yeah. In 10 years, we're
Yes,
going to be like, oh my gosh, that was so way back when. And look at where we are now.
exactly.
And that's the beauty of this law. This was the easiest one for me to explain because it's what we do. It's what we are all doing here. I don't have to. Now, if I had to explain it to someone else that wasn't in this group, it'd be a little bit more challenging. But all of us in this room have a purpose. All of us in this room know our Dharma, which is why it's so easy for me to explain this specific workshop because we are all living proof of it. I didn't have to do so much research because I did research, but I didn't have to do too much because it's just something that flows innately out of us into us to help other people. So absolutely, these stories are just absolutely amazing, and I do thank you all for sharing them. So let's move on to the next section here. Overcoming challenges. We all discussed a little bit about challenges and things that, we overcame or have to overcome or are working on overcoming. So finding purpose in life might seem tricky because we are so often inundated with ideas and beliefs that are imposed upon us, whether they come through, like Umberto was saying, social media, like Solina was saying, limiting beliefs from other people, like I was saying about limiting beliefs and thoughts about from our parents. Those beliefs, those are the things that we have to push through because they are blocking us from becoming our higher selves. They are stopping us from the Dharma that we are, that we have. And I understand that our parents are very influential people in our lives. You know, for some people, it's social media. Back in the day, it was magazines, you know, all of these magazines for ladies. You have to look a certain way. You have to have a certain weight. You have to buy these clothes. This is what your hair should look like. You know, this is the nail polish that's going to make you be that girl. You know, those are programming. Those are reaching our minds and they're telling us, well, you don't look like that. You got to look like this. And those are limiting beliefs. And so when we read those things, we have to be careful. My friend back in high school, she goes, I don't read magazines. They give a very negative image of what people should look like. And she is Latina. And she goes, I don't look like any of these girls, and I don't need to. So she already knew right off the bat that this was complete mind control. You know, do we read educational books? Do we read or see magazines that inspire us? What are we picking up? What are we watching on television? Are we watching reality shows regarding celebrities that really don't contribute to a community? Or are we stuck in front of a television listening to their propaganda? That is why they're called television programs. They are programming our minds, and we have to be very careful about how we consume this. Now, all of us here are older adults. We can choose what we and how we consume media. Do we want to sit in front of a television consuming garbage programming? You know, why do you think the news is at 6 o'clock? Because everyone works until 5 and they get home, maybe fix themselves something to eat and watch the 6 o'clock news. And what do they do on the 6 o'clock news? Don't buy this. Don't do that. This group of people is doing this. It's all rewiring our mind. It's all programming our minds to hate a certain group of people, buy a certain product. You know, it's taking us away from our true selves, from our dharma, from our purpose in life. So a lot of people not walk on, focus on those programs and they're on autopilot. I gotta watch this TV show. I gotta do this. And they have the same routine over and over and over again, where people like us in this room, I wish there were more, but people like us are breaking that cycle. Umberto, you spoke about education, removing social media. This is part of it. We are doing this now. We are planting, all of us. We are planting the seeds of growth to be of benefit to other people. It is our dharma to do that, which is why I asked that question. If you had all of the resources and time in the world, what would you create? And we all want to create something beautiful. Let me phrase that. We don't want to create. We are creating something beautiful. We're creating awareness, love, joy, peace, serenity, harmony, gratitude. Fill in whatever it is you want. Everybody, shout it at the same time. It doesn't matter. What is it that you're creating?
Abundance.
Keep going.
Dharma.
Keep going.
Change.
Love
Expansion.
it. Keep going.
Growth, evolution.
Yes.
What else?
Beauty, art,
Yeah,
music.
all of that. Yes.
We're all creating that. It is part of who we are, which
Truth.
is why I'm so passionate about this subject. And bringing the seven spiritual laws of success is just something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And it's finally here. I did it. It just brings me so much joy. And you can hear it in my voice. I'm very passionate about it. You know, it's just something that it just brings me joy. It just really does. And I want to thank you all for participating. We're not done yet, but I just want to thank you all for participating. Not that I'm going to thank you when we're done, but I want to thank you now for it because it shows me not just who you are and your beautiful selves and your beautiful souls, but it shows me that I'm on the right track to help others with my voice, with my stories, with my beliefs. And it is something that I am very grateful for to share with everyone in this room. Overcoming the second challenge is we have to look past all of the things that we feel we should do or must do. We can find the spark, our creative intelligence, something that is guiding us to find the reason for being. Why do we live? Why do we do what we do? Why is Umberto a musician? Why is Selena a women's community builder for change and love? Why, John, are you doing this community to bring people together? Why am I helping people change their lives, transform their lives into beautiful people? Why? What is our reason? Do we know? Of course we do. It's our gift. It is the purpose in life that we were given to use our skills and abilities to help others. Every single person, every single story that I heard from you all, it was about helping others. I didn't hear anyone say, I want to be a rich billionaire and fly into space, which is why I asked that question. What would you do if you had unlimited time and resources? You all talked about helping others. You did not talk about living in a palace. You did not talk about accumulating wealth. You did not talk about buying cars or jewelry or clothing. You all talked about helping others. And you, all of you, now know your Dharma.
Oh,
And I think that is absolutely wonderful. Your stories are amazing, just as amazing as you all are.
Oh, thank you.
I feel
Thank
that.
you, Eldon. That's
You are
lovely.
well, you're very welcome. This is, I don't know, it's just, this is such a great conclusion to this workshop because it kind of all ties in, right? We talked about the love giving and receiving, what to do, how to do it. We talked about the karma. You do something bad, you get something bad. You do something good, you get something good. We talked about all these laws, but this one talks about how we can help others. And it's such a wonderful feeling. None of us in this room are selfish. We have the ability and desire to help others.
Yes.
I would like to open the floor at this time for any comments. Please feel free to say whatever comes to your mind. And of course, if you have any questions, you could always ask. This is a safe space. Please, the floor is open.
Well, my question or comment, for us to maybe also chime in on, but when we discover our dharmas, I say that we've awakened. Like that's what they call woke these days. But here's the thing, not everyone is woke, and that for me is so, or not. Let me go back to using the right terminology for this class. Not everybody has discovered their dharma, and that to me is like so sad to see that, because it's like, man, like if they really looked within themselves and they looked at, what's going on around them, how they feel about life, are they feeling fulfilled? They would realize how many choices that they've been making that has been all part of the programming, like you said. And, us not being true to ourselves. We're just following what our teachers and parents told us that we should be. Like I was supposed to be a doctor, apparently. Uh, but but when you discover your dharma, like you find that for like you feel like you broke away from the matrix, right? And at the same time, you're leaving so many people in the matrix. So it gets to be a challenge. So I would love to know, like, what are we all experiencing when we discover our Dharma and how it changes how we relate with others as well.
Okay, so let's talk first about what you said with being in the matrix. There are some people that just don't want to leave. There's some people that do not explore that. They just, whether it's because they're in situations where they can't leave, or they don't have the resources, or they just don't want to. I had a conversation with my younger brother regarding some finances that my sister was having problems with. And he and I are working on investments so that we can create wealth for ourselves. And she just wants to ask for money. She doesn't want to build it on her own. There are just some people that don't want to. There's some people that don't want to be rich, and there's some people that don't want to help others, and there's some people that just want to stay home in bed watching TV and have pity parties for themselves. So it is an unfortunate reality, John. Some people just don't want to unplug. And speaking of the Matrix, a lot of people are realizing now in this day and age that this movie is a manual. It is not just for entertainment. The
Wouldn't
principles
lie.
and philosophies that we are living in are true to what that movie is. And yes, of
The
course, it's a
tape.
Hollywood movie, it's entertainment. I get it. But if you extrapolate the meaning and not just see it as a movie to sit in front of because you're falling asleep after work. And I've seen this movie many times because there's so many things in that movie that resonate with me. Now, there are the people that watch other movies. Let's talk about the Star Wars movie or Star Trek, whatever. There are people that created a religion out of the Jedi, and they go to these places and I'm a Jedi, and they practice the religion and all of that. And there's other people that learn the Klingon language or whatever language. I mean, there's dedicated people to these things. I don't know if they're fulfilling their dharma. I guess the people that created that community is fulfilling their dharma. I'm not a judge. I'm not gonna say it's bad. I'm just presenting the information. But to go back to what you were saying, not all of us are going to unplug. There are leaders, like everyone in this room, and there are followers. And that's just the reality. You cannot have followers without leaders. You cannot have leaders without followers. Shepherds, the
Mm.
flock, they have to tend to the flock. The sheep follow the shepherd. That's just life. And there's some people that operate. I need to be led. I need to be told what to do. I need to have someone guiding me, you know.
Yeah.
And there are people like us who are like, I'm creating something beautiful
Yeah.
so that I can help others, not have people follow me. We use our powers for good. There are other people, like you see these cults, these religions, they what is it? The congregation or the followers, they take advantage of them. They abuse them, which is why I'm really not into any organized religion or any form of organized religion because they're programming you. You can't believe this, you've got to believe this. That group of people, you can't like them because they're this way. And they're spreading hatred. And they're using their dharma in a wrong way. Your dharma, our life purpose should be, in my belief, should be to inspire, to guide, to motivate other people, to make a better person, to make a better world. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, yeah, no, 100%. And I do want to hear what others also are experiencing. And to piggyback on that too, I don't want to hog too much space, but
This is yours.
As it, thank you. As it comes to how when we go after the thing that we know we need to be doing and how our friends and family don't really support you. It's to say that they're disinterested if it's not relevant to them. You know what I mean? It's to say, well, he's going off course somewhere. We'll wait for him when he gets back. You know, you almost get that feeling of like they're waiting for you to like fall on your face and be like, no, this is the better way. You know, and you come back and join, corporate or whatever. So that's also another thing. But that's my little add-on to that. I want to hear what are we all feeling when it comes to our relationships?
Well, I agree with that. And look at the people before us.
Hmm.
Deepak Chopra, Dolores, Neville Goddard. All of these people, I'm pretty sure, received criticism in one way or another. Let's talk about entrepreneurs. Uh, I forget what the guy from FedEx is. Oh, nobody wants a overnight delivery. Now we use that word as a verb. These people broke through that. These people, you know what? You're gonna tell me what you're gonna tell me. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna help the world be better. And they did. These entrepreneurs, us in here in this group, in this room, we're going to get the feedback. But remember, their feedback is not our truth. Their feelings are not fact. And what's more is what they're thinking about us is none of our business.
Mm-hmm.
We in this room are going to create a community for women, a community for the LGBT, a community to help people and better their lives, and a community to help others with our music. We don't have to listen to anyone but ourselves. We know our Dharma. That's all I gotta say. So please, everyone, what are your thoughts on John's comments as well as today's session?
I agree with what you said, and John as well. I think listening to ourselves is the key. There is going to be some pushback, obviously, from people who cannot see things the way we do. And they have certain expectations from us, or they learn to see us in a certain way. And as we work on ourselves, we change. And so who we are now is no longer a match to the idea of them that they have of us. So when you start making those changes, there is going to be a ripple effect, obviously, a little bit of resistance. But as Eldon always says, those who are the right people will be there, and they will come, and you lose some people, and then you gain some others, and that's just life. I think eventually, as we grow, as we work on ourselves, as we experience these changes, um, is that's the hard part, I will say, that you have to say goodbye to certain people. But at the same time, years later, you look back and you go, it was the right thing for me. I understand now why, right? So it may not feel really good at the moment, but eventually, when you look back years after, you go, that was the right thing to do. That was the right decision for me at the time. And I see now why it had to happen. Because there is one thing that I really believe is that you become like the closest people around you. And if the closest people around you are limiting you. And like this person, that the bartender you were talking about, is married to a wife that the wife is telling him, doubting all the time. Well, of course, the person is going to doubt themselves because he's listening to that day in and day out. But if the wife would be more supportive and truly believe in his capability to become a web developer, um,
Would have done it.
probably he will be working on something else. So sometimes you have to make those hard decisions. And it's not like he doesn't have the the motivation. Is sometimes that programming is so deep into our subconscious mind because we listen to these things that well-intentioned, sometimes people really mean well, but they're harming us more than helping us. And so we have to be our own advocate. Yeah.
Yes, that is correct. And listen, thank you so much for sharing that story because as you were saying that, it just kept on replaying in my mind. The right people will come and the right people will stay. We, all of us in here, are earth movers. We are going to move people in good ways. And you said something very important. I there's people that you have to let go because guess what? They're taking up the room of the people that need to be in your life. And I tell this to my clients. This woman was looking for work. And I said to her, you got to clear out that garage. You got to throw out everything you don't need. And I said, well, why? Because now you're making room for the things that you need in your life. She got a job in 2 weeks. We have to let go of some relationships, and it is painful. We're accustomed to it, but if we don't leave our comfort zones, we're never going to grow. We're never going to learn. We have to say goodbye. And I understand that loss is very painful. But like I said in the law of detachment, we have to focus on our journey. We have to detach from outcomes. And not that it's an outcome to release a relationship, but releasing that relationship, it's because it was painful, abusive, manipulative, add whatever adjective. And it could be a cousin, a brother, a mother, a father, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a wife, someone special in our life can do this to us. And we have to realize that this person's journey with us went in the other direction as we keep going forward.
Hmm.
Maybe we'll meet up in the future, but right now, I got to do this one solo.
Hmm.
So, yes, Solina, you're absolutely right. We do have to acknowledge that sometimes we have to do this journey by ourselves, or I like to think that we have to do this journey with our higher self.
Hmm.
That's the one that's always going to be there for you. Always. That higher self is going to be like, you got to come here. You're not here yet. Get over here. No, but I'm with my family. I'm with my wife. I'm with my boyfriend. Those are the people that are holding you back. And your higher self is that you got to let them go for a moment. You got to realize that we're here. We're at the high up. But
Mm.
we stay in our comfort zones. How many times have I moved? I moved from New York to Chicago to Los Angeles to Miami. I let people go, but guess what? I still stay in contact with them. I still have their phone numbers. I still visit Chicago. I still visit Los Angeles. I mean, it's been a while, but I still visit, and the people in your life, oh, let's use this in this example, the people in my life are the people that are correct. The right people will come into my life, and the right people will stay in my life, just like in business. We want to sell our goods and services to anybody that can buy, but not everyone is ready for our services. There's so many people that are not ready for life coaching or building a community, and there are many people that don't even like music, and John, Solina, me, Humberto, we all want to build a community, and not everyone is right for it. There are many people that just don't want enlightenment. They just want to daily grind, and because that's the way they were taught, and they want to move up but don't want to change. You can't. You can't. There in my fitness practice, I've heard many people. I tell them you got to eat this way, you got to eat that. I'm not doing that. Well. How do you expect to lose weight? How do you expect to get more sleep? How do you expect to train to be stronger, to have more endurance if you're gonna keep on with the same old patterns? If you eat pizza every day and expect to be skinny, that's not gonna happen. That is not working out. You have to change your behavior to become a changed person. And that's how you change. That's how the law of Dharma works in this specific room. We deliver our services. The right people will come, the right people will stay. Any more comments? I believe we have one more person, but you're not forced to. Umberto, would you like to share your last moments before we close?
Um, well, yes, I would say that it's important that we have to be careful that our ego doesn't take control sometimes, because sometimes I would like the people or my daughter, or uh I think, I mean, in my perspective, I think they're doing something wrong, or they're doing, like they're not, why don't you meditate, or why don't you do this or that? And we have to be careful with that, because I would say that we're not, even though that we are here to be the example of freedom and love. And if you are going against someone's belief or someone's reality, which is different from yours, sometimes you're trying to, like to be more than they are, something like that. I don't know how to explain it, but I think you're understanding what I'm saying. So
Yep.
we have to be a little bit careful with that, because our intention is always good, but we have also to feel respect, to respect God purposes in every life here in this world. Every person, every single person, we are different. We have different journeys, different lessons to learn, different, and we're not develop our consciousness in the same speed. We're not going in the same, we're not going, sometimes there are people that are going super fast. There are people that takes time to get to that point. But what I really focus on is like, as a one person, I cannot change the world, but I can change the world a one person,
Right,
just
one person at a time. That's correct.
one person at a time. So it's important for me, that because every time that I go outside, or I'm going to the church, with my activities is more related to the church, because my music and everything, and people start talking to me, I just trying to provide them the way I think, but never they trying to know more about me, because they are impressed the way I play or whatever, But that's the example. That's enough. That's a lot
That's all
already.
you
I'm fine.
need.
Exactly. The people see that, and I'm not helping. I'm doing something good, and I wanted to say this. I don't know. I think it's important, because sometimes I'm yeah, I like try to, and I get frustrated because people, oh my God, this guy is completely crazy, or sometimes I get upset because I see all the people right now in this moment. There are people dying in war. There's really bloody war right now in Ukraine or whatever. When sometimes I don't understand that, but there are things that I don't have control, and also there are things that I cannot have the decision. But for sure, I'm doing something good, at
That is
least
correct.
now here. So, and we have to be proud, all of us here right now. because we are improving the consciousness in the world, the consciousness in general. I mean, the energy, and that's a lot. That's a lot. So
That's
even though the people,
powerful.
that's powerful, and people sometimes people don't want to listen to, or people, but don't get frustrated. Don't get, because there's a purpose. There's a purpose always, and wow, that's what I wanted to say. I don't know. Uh, I'm very proud of you guys because you're very brave. You've been helping me for a couple months already, and it's amazing how far, or how, yeah, how far I have gone. In my development, and well, thank you, Eldon, and thank you,
And
John.
you're very welcome. Now, listen, you are definitely a testament, if you will, to change. I remember the first meeting, and the same person that I met that day is not the same person that is in front of me now. And that is definitely your inner strength. And, you know, it's, and this is why I say that us people in here, us light workers, you came to John's community. He gave me the opportunity to speak. We all, both of us, unleashed your inner strength, inner power. We knew you had it. You need to realize, you needed to realize you had it. We knew you had it. We knew that.
Yes.
You know, like, man, this guy's gonna be fine. We like he's in here, he's in the right space. He's gonna be just fine.
Mm.
You know, but I'm gonna stop the recording for a moment. I'll just say my thank yous, and then we can keep the room open. So I want to thank all of you for coming today to today's final workshop on the seven spiritual laws of success. I hope it was a pleasure for you as it was for me to talk to you about the principles and the laws that I followed that got me to be where I am right now. Am I perfect? No, but I'm definitely on my way to enlightenment and fulfillment. And I want to thank each and every one of you for participating with me today. I'm going to give you some loving. There it is.
Thank you, Eldon.
And I want to thank you all. I will see you at the next workshop. Be aware of the emails that are coming because I have another one that I will be teaching in a couple of weeks, I think. John is in the beginning stages of his, and then after his comes mine. So I definitely look forward to seeing you there as well.
Yeah. Thank you, Eldon. You're amazing.
Thank you, Eldon.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Eldon.
You're
Really
Everyone
very
good.
else,
welcome.
thanks
I
for your
enjoyed it.
participation.
I did
Yeah.
too. Thank you so much. Hold on one second. I'll be right with you again.